Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. This is Brother Tyler Pine. You know what time it is. It's another lunch special, and today we're going to be serving up some passport bros, all right? I just saw some interesting info, all right, dealing with the whole deportation situation and as it pertains to the passport bros, all right? And this is why I got Matthew 19:3 pulled up, because more confusion coming out of Babylon, right? So this is Matthew chapter 19 verse 3, which says the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, which is Yahweh Shai, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? Which, what is Esau doing today? Telling you, no, it's all types of genders, and that comes right out of the Talmud, right? That's Talmudic doctrine, all right, that they are indoctrinating people into, where there are more than one, or more than two actually, more than two genders, all right? And a man could be whatever gender he wants. The woman could be whatever gender she wants, right? And we don't know what a woman is. Therefore, we can't know what a man is, but a man could be a woman if he wants to. Well, how can a man be a woman when we don't know what a woman is? Confusion, all right? And this is shit with the passport bros is, you know, it's not just them, but the policy pertaining to you bringing a wife from outside the U.S., right? So let's read on verse 4. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 4 says, and he answered and said unto them, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife. All right? And this is the way the Most High set it up, but check this out. All right? Again, Matthew 19:5, and it says, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. All right? The two become one. And that's how the Heavenly Father set it up, right? No more one flesh, but two. And look at what verse 6 says. It says, wherefore they are no more twain or two, but one flesh. It says, what therefore the Most High had joined together, let no man put asunder. All right? And so this video is going to go right into that. Let's get into it.
The very system they use to convince passport bros that it's a bad idea to bring their significant other into the United States just handed them the ultimate weapon. The passport bros just receive an insane advantage, which means they will win in every single dating market on the planet. For decades, you had to hide your foreign wife from the West, afraid she'd get infected by feminism the moment you brought her into America. But as of August the 1st, that fear is dead, because now the U.S. government has quietly activated something I call the extradite filter, and it changes everything. And I'm about to break this down in this video right now. Let me just show you why passport bros just got overpowered, and how anyone who can get a passport can benefit from this movement. Guys, most men don't understand what just happened. There was a huge policy update by Donald Trump, and it wasn't just about immigration. It was about leverage. Because for the first time in decades, the girl you bring back to the United States can't just flip the switch, get westernized, and walk off with half of your life. As of August 1st, 2025, she either plays her role or her ass gonna get deported. No one is talking about this yet. So let me just break down exactly what just dropped and why I call it the extradite filter. On August 1st, 2025, the U.S.
And mind you, this was 10 days ago now. All right. So this is went into effect 10 days ago. It is now August the 11th. Okay. And so let's play the rest of it.
Citizenship and Immigration Services dropped a quiet bomb. A new policy update now makes one thing clear. Marrying a U.S. citizen no longer guarantees permanent residency. Let me say that again. Marriage no longer means protection. That's the biggest buff passport bros have ever seen. But why is the big question everyone wants to know right now. And the answer? Before this?
Because everybody, you know, familiar with the grift, they didn't put it in every sitcom you didn't ever watch, you know, marrying a foreigner so they can stay in the States. All right? Yeah, that's a big grift, a big time grift, you know. And I mean, it's I don't know what's the big deal now about it. It's been going on. Except, you know, now because it's targeting the Northern Kingdom, well, Israelites in general, because when Esau was getting his mail order brides from Europe and Russia, it wasn't a big thing, you know. But now it's, you know, they want to criminalize it. Well, really, like I said, it's really always been criminalized. But yeah, why make the big deal now about it? All right, because this gives them more leverage to go after people. All right. Again, it's not a new law. I mean, if you're going to marry a foreigner, you have to be legitimate married. All right. Now, if they're legitimate married, the courts ain't got nothing to do with that. You know? So this is, like I said, it's going to create more confusion. But look, it's a little bit more in this video, and then we'll break it down.
Women could finesse the system. That's right, guys. Women were coming over here, exploiting us and bailing. They'd act submissive overseas, secure the ring, fly back to America, and flip the script. Once they got here, it wasn't long before they became westernized, filed for divorce, collected benefits, and there was nothing you can do about it. Why do you think passport bros who've been in the game before the movement even started would always tell newbies to never bring their women to America? Now, that game is over. The new rules demand evidence, interviews, proof, and they can deport her even after approval if they find anything off. If your relationship don't appear to be genuine and she over here...
So you see, even after she's been approved and the marriage is legit, then she has to toe a line, or else at any point in time they can come and take your wife. That is wickedness. All right. So yeah, I can see in the point of a scam, but they saying if like she does something out of line, I don't know, let's say she breaks a law. All right. They can send her back. Now they have the right to take your wife from you and send her back. Just like he said, even after the marriage has been approved.
Changing up on you, causing stress in your life. You think that doesn't put pressure to the system? That's right, guys. Women were coming over here, exploiting us and bailing. They'd act submissive overseas, secure the ring, fly back to America, and flip the script. Once they got here, it wasn't long before they became westernized, filed for divorce, collected benefits, and there was nothing you can do about it.
And Eddie Murphy did, I believe in Raw. I believe that was Raw. I'm not for sure. But Eddie Murphy famously, all right, did a bit on that, you know, about bringing a woman from Africa, you know, and how it is just a matter of time. It won't be an extended time, but in a matter of time, she's going to be telling you she won't have. Yeah, and that was like 83. That was in the mid-80s, around the mid-80s. So as you can see, 40 years later, nothing has changed. 40 years later, and nothing has changed, except they getting ready to pass this law. So for men who do, are able to go over there and find a legit woman, Well, that's his prerogative. If he want to go over there and find a woman, that's his prerogative. All right? And even if he go over there and get played, that's his prerogative. That's not the court's business to dictate how I get down with my woman, how I get my woman, nor how I keep my woman. That's not up to the court. All right? So, you know, he's billing it as a plus, this guy. Oh, now the women can't come over here and do this and that. Right. It should have been a structural change in the courts to protect men here. And that's what you not seeing. The man still has no protection. All right? And you think that's a flex and you winning because, oh, now if I bring her over here, right, she has to act or she has to be right or act right under duress. Possibly. You know, have to be forced. And you don't want that either. You know? You don't want that. What you want is your rights protected. You built something. Now you want, you know, somebody to share what you built with. And just because you want to share your life and what you built and put together, don't give that bitch the right because she, you know, wanted to, whatever, she trying to, let's just call it what it is, scam you. The court should protect that man. All right? But what happens? She'll take you to court and ask, well, it's in the video, but she'll get half of your stuff. All right? Now that ain't right. But we have the examples. Then you got the prophets too now. All right? You have the examples and the prophets telling you there is nothing in marriage for you in Babylon. And now, if you marry a woman overseas, they can take her from you. And that's how I look at it. I don't see it as a win. Oh, now she got to act right. Look, we had the power. We had the power. The reason why women cutting up today because of fucking simps. If when a woman leave her man and don't nobody fuck with her, guess what she gonna do? She gonna find her way back home. But because you got 100 niggas sitting there and she know they sitting there, she gonna treat you any kind of way, talk to you how she wanna talk to you, show you every version of disrespect, and then be out on your ass. You know, trying to provoke you to strike her. Well, she can lock you up and really get paid. So you see that there's a fundamental problem in the court system. All right? As men, it's too much content, you know, on the internet. You shouldn't need Esau to protect you at this point. Take accountability, be responsible, make wise decisions, all right, in who you choose to choose, all right, or choose to be in a relationship with. We have to take the accountability. We have to start setting the standards, all right, that look, I'm not going to talk to a woman that's separated. I'm not going to talk to a woman that's divorced. You know, I look at divorced women with disdain. Because to me, that bitch is a failure. Because you walked down the aisle or you went to the court, you told that man, You made a vow to that man you was gonna love him and you didn't. You're a fucking failure. I don't give a fuck what your reason is. You had a failed marriage. And see, we got to start putting that on these women. They get away with too much. And there's nothing said. No, bitch, you a failure. You failed in marriage just like you're going to fail in life. You want other people, you want other people to take care of you. Now, how is that strong and independent? Where's the strength and the independence in you taking half a man's shit? And anyway, all right.
Why do you think passport bros who've been in the game before the movement even started would always tell newbies to never bring their women to America? Now, that game is over. The new rules demand evidence, interviews, proof, and they can deport her even after approval if they find anything off. If your relationship don't appear to be genuine and she over here changing up on you, causing stress in your life, you think that doesn't put pressure on her behavior?
Yeah, you can call ICE, you know, but what man want to call ICE on his wife? Now, they'll do that shit on you if it was reversed. You know, woman go over to Jamaica, get a man, bring him back. Oh, she'll call ICE on his ass. Oh, where you been? It's 3 in the morning. Why you coming home so late? Well, let me call ICE. See what they got to say about this shit. You know, the black woman gonna give a black man all kind of hell. And the man might threaten, but he ain't gonna call ICE on this woman. You know? So I know Jake be getting bludgeoned and beat up by his wife and won't call the police. Yeah, you black women are violent. You know? All up in masculine energy. No femininity about you whatsoever. All right? It's a little bit more.
Again, my friend, every attitude, every act of disrespect, every time she think about becoming independent and divorcing you now sounds like the dumbest decision she could ever make in her life. She used to be protected. She used to wild out, act brand new, pick up TikTok talking points, cheating on you, threaten to divorce. And if you say anything, your life got destroyed. Now, that visa is your accountability tool. She's not a citizen. She's on a contract. And every step she takes, every move she makes, she knows someone's watching. Because under this new rule, it doesn't matter if the marriage is approved. If fraud is found after the fact, even emotional manipulation or hidden intentions, she could still be deported. That means U.S. soil is not a free pass anymore. It's probation. And that's how it should be, because men are tired of being ruined.
Now you see Jake is lost. That's not how it should be. The state is not supposed to meddle in a man's affairs. Period. All right? And with that being said, a man got to take responsibility. You take your ass over there, bring a woman back and get played. Hey, it is what it is. The court don't need to protect you. That's why the Lord gives you logic and common sense. Give you reasoning. Quit thinking with the little head. Bring some blood up to your big head. Vibrate on a higher level. All right? I'm going to go here and get up out of here. Jake want to think with his dick, you get played. And that's his bottom line. You got to start using your head dealing with women. That's why the scripture said a man dealing with woman according to knowledge. I'm going to go here. I'm going to see if I can find that. Let me see right now. All right, so we're here in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. It says, likewise, ye husbands. All right, you men out there. All right. A husband is a farmer. All right. You can't be a husband without a wife. All right. A husband is a pipe layer. a tiller of the earth. All right? A seed sower, that's a husband. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them. All right? Let's go up. Because I like that one. One of my favorite scriptures, 1 Peter 3 and 6. All right? We'll start there. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are of Israel. It don't say of Israel. I'm saying that. You daughters of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, you Native Americans today. And wherever you may be scattered around the world. And the Most High has blessed you with the ears to hear. That's because you're a Hebrew Israelite. All right? And so it says, 1 Peter 3 and 6, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well. All right, so you women are daughters of Sarah, as long as ye do well. All right, it says, and are not afraid with any amazement. Verse 7, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. So see, we got to dwell with them according to knowledge, not feelings or emotions. They are the emotional aspect of the relationship. We ought to be the logic and the law. The man is to lay down the law. A woman is going to give you emotions. You have to learn to process them. That don't mean go along with it. But that means you got to know when, okay, she's just full of shit, and ignore her. And you got to know when it's, something going on. That's why Paul said, I would that you were like me. Because a woman takes a lot of work. Well, in Babylon, because no one has prepared her. All right? So women take a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of energy. Because the parents don't, women don't get disciplined, or barely, if any, And with that, they really don't get taught things that they should be taught. All right? Because Babylon tells them that we are their servants. So all they need to do is show up. They don't have to bring anything to the table. That's why they say, I am the table. Because they've been told all they need to do is show up. And men are fed up with that. Men are fed up with that. But it says again, 1 Peter 3 and 7, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life. See, y'all heirs together. Why? Because it's one flesh. Look, one flesh. All right? So it says, right, that your prayers be not hindered. All right? So y'all got to move in unison. It has to be some type of solidarity between you and your woman. It can't be her competing with you. You competing with her. Y'all all out of sync. All right? Because you've been listening to society, right? And society tell a man, you got to put that woman first, boy. Cater to that woman. I just watched the video this morning. A man slapped his son for getting on his woman. And even if the son was wrong, you stay out of a man's business with his wife. I don't give a fuck if you his father, his son, whoever. You don't get between a man and his woman. Now, the father was out of line, the son stayed in line. But the man will tell his son he can't argue at his wife. That woman been at work all for 12 hours and she don't need to come home and clean up. Well, if that's how you want to run your house, you go with that. Go to your household with that shit. And the man's wife works 16 hours and he want his house clean. I can't do nothing about that. That's none of my business. You know, even if it's my child. That's why you train up a child in the way he should go. Shit, that man want his house clean, that ain't none of nobody's business. But that's the thing, we so quick to take up for these women. No, she was gone for 12 hours. She didn't do 12 hours of work. Whereas a man will go on the job and bust his ass for 12 hours and come home to nothing. Now, who's cursing that woman out? I've yet to see the video. I've yet to see that video. I'm going to go out on this. Our nation is messed up, you know, because our women are out of order. And I want to go here, Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And in this case, women's liberation, along with all the trimmings that come with that. Alimony, child support, all of that bullshit. All right? That's and I said I was going to stop calling it women's liberation, but it really is women's liberation. It really is, because what it does is liberate the women from being a woman, which means servant. So it really is women's liberation. You liberated these females from being women. And what did they do? They could have been anything, but they opted to be whores. So you was liberated from your womanhood to become the whores that you always aspired to be. So the grievousness which they have prescribed. Planned Parenthood, abortions, all of that. Now here's the point, verse 2, it says to turn aside the needy from judgment. Remember? Fundamentally, the problem is in the courts that awards these women your hard-earned resources, hard-fought and hard-earned resources and things of that nature, and just give it to her. Of course, that's going to destroy society, because now you've given her no incentive to be a woman, period, to even care. You've given her no incentive. And so now women get married just to get divorced, because there's no incentive. They're not looking to be mothers. Oh, they'll give birth. That's not what I said. They're not looking to be mothers. Yeah, they'll give birth for another incentive, that child support check. But they're not looking to be mothers. But anyway, we need justice. Again, Isaiah 10:2, to turn aside the needy, us, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans predominantly, and take away the right from the poor of my people, us. All right, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what it is. All right, we don't need people. We got enough of motherfucking government in our affairs. We are sovereign. Act like it. Use your comments. Well, I ain't gonna say. Use your logic and reasoning, especially dealing with a woman. All right, because they can be treacherous when you don't understand them. And to the next one, Shalom. All right.